Sorry about that, my battery died. Okay, so with yard sales, if we see the address, we'll go to the house the day before and we will offer them a flat rate for all of the stuff. If they don't want to do a flat rate, that's fine. If we can go through it then, we'll pay them a little bit of extra money. That's fine also. So you have storage unit auctions. Bid on what you see. You don't want to bid on a box that says jewelry, because 9 times out of 10, there's not jewelry in it. Auction houses is excellent. Ours, I absolutely love to death. He has an auction every other Friday. Sometimes he has them every Friday. But I'm going to call him tomorrow and talk to him and see if he will let me do a live vlog from his auction house. If not, look at Auction Zip or just get on Google. Just go on Google and type in the city and state you're in and put auction. There should be links that come up under that showing local auctions around you. The day before the auction, or so many days before the auction, for our auction house that we go to, he has all the stuff lined out, all of the box, because he has box lots and then he does individual items. So we can go the day before the auction and preview. We can see everything that's going to be at the auction. And what we do is, if we like what we see in the box, and if for some reason we're not going to be able to make it to the auction for whatever reason, our dog is absolutely petrified of thunderstorms, we cannot leave her alone and go to the auction. And what we do is we look through the box and see what is the maximum amount that we want to pay for that box. Say there's a box lot of glassware. Okay, my maximum bid for glassware flat out is going to be $15. Okay, on top of that, you're going to have to add buyer fees and taxes. So you might as well figure $20. Okay, when we buy those box lots, we buy it for that one item that we know is going to pay for that whole entire box plus another round of money. If we can't go to the auction, what we do is we leave what's called a left bid or an absentee bid, and we write down on a card our maximum bid. If we win, they will call and let us know. If not, then we're SOL. So a local auction house is an excellent opportunity. You get to network with people. You get to meet a lot of interesting people. We've made a ton of new friends at the auction houses. Some really, really nice people, interesting people. You see stuff that you've never seen and never will see again in your life. Some really, really neat stuff that you see at auction houses. I mean, just, it is astonishing at some of the stuff that we see. I think one of my favorite things is the old family photos. I really love those. Those are actually really good sellers on eBay also. Yard sales, some people don't know what they have. Some people like us know what we do have, but we won't let people undercut us. So when we have a yard sale, we pretty much hold our bottom line. And what I do is, like we're getting toward the end of yard sale season, what I do is I'll go to the store and get a bunch of cardboard boxes, and I will take those boxes and tape them up. Fill this box for $10. Fill this box for $20. Fill this box for $5. We get stuff going quick like that. At the end of the year, what's left over, what we do is we take it to the Humane Society thrift store and we do what's called a flush. And what that is, we get rid of the old and get ready for the new at the first of the year. Humane Society thrift stores, we absolutely love them. We give them a lot of our business because the money that we give is going for a good cause, as well as the stuff we give. We do not thrift at the Goodwill. I had a friend that worked at the Goodwill. She was telling me about the clothing that they get that had lice and bed bugs on them. No thanks, not worth it. Not coming in this house. Not going to happen. When we do buy storage units that does have clothes, I pretty much, I don't know my clothing. I do not fool with the time to authenticate it unless it's like a Coach bag or something like that. I have several friends that are really good with the Coach and Michael Kors and all that good stuff. They know if it's authentic or not. They know. So clothes, I got several pieces of clothes I need to get listed. What I have found, the best clothes to sell are anywhere from 3X and up. Those are the best selling that I have found. And other than that, the clothes that we find, they go straight to the Humane Society thrift store. We don't even fool with the clothes. My word of advice is, when I see a lot of people posting saying, what is this? And posting a picture of it. Try to do the research yourself, because 50% of the people is going to help you. The other 50% of people is going to mislead you. So start doing the research on your own. Start just typing in the Google search engine. For example, a leg brace that we got at the auction for $1. It was leather, it was metal, it was vintage. There was only one word on it, and I can't remember what it was, but it started with an H. I could not find anything out on it. On Google, on Yahoo, on eBay, nowhere. So that's good or bad. It could be bad that they don't bring much money, or it's good, it's rare, and it'll bring a lot of money. I ended up just listing what I knew on eBay. In the title, I put the first word, it was an H, and I put metal, leather, vintage, leg brace. And I put a question mark, and I put in the description, I have no idea what this is. I purchased it at an auction. You be the judge. And yes, in all of my item descriptions, I do have, this item has come from an auction. I have seen people say that when the buyer found out that the item came from an auction, they said they wanted to cancel it. For myself, I would rather tell a buyer straight up where it came from than to go through the hassle of canceling and all that. I'd rather eliminate all hassle straight up and right up front than to have to go through cancel. And when we were selling a lot of clothing, we had a lot of returns because, for the most part, what I believe happened, people just wore the clothing one time and that was it. So that's the reason why we got our clothing. And it really didn't bring a whole lot of money either. But then you have stuff that does pay good money. Football jerseys and stuff like that. It just, the problem when you get into a lot of stuff like that, from me, my opinion, is authentication. So, gosh, my mind is going to a blank. I should have just wrote all this stuff down, and I would have just been able to fly through this, but there's just so much to it. If you have friends or family that's moving, or neighbors if they're moving, tell them, if there's anything that you don't want, no matter what it is, set it to a side in boxes. If you want to sell it, I'll give you a flat fee for it, or I'll sell it to you and cut the profit in half. That is another thing that we do. I have an aunt right now getting ready to move from Northern Virginia down to close to where we live. And I told her to set her stuff back. That we'll pay her for it, or I'll sell it for her and we'll split the profits in half. But since she is my aunt, I'm going to give her all of the money. I'm not going to keep any of it. I just want to help her out. But look in your home. For a good example today, I looked up the little tin canisters, whatever you want to call them, that pepper, your seasoning, the pepper seasoning is in. Those jokers sell for hotcakes on eBay. I had no clue. So when I started doing selling the 2-liter bottles, people are using this stuff for crafts, and I had no idea that this stuff was going to be selling this good. So anything, before you put it in the trash can, we do not dumpster dive, first off. No. That's nasty. No, I'm just not into that stuff. No. We don't dig through the trash. When our neighbors and friends and family gives us stuff, they've put it in bags and held it back for us. They have not dug it out of the trash. We do not dig through the trash. That ain't gonna happen. Some people dumpster dive and go through the trash. More power to you. But that's not what I do. So, my nose is so itchy. The weather is changing. So, in your house, if you haven't used it in the past year, sell it, get rid of it. Make that money. Put that money back. So, storage units, auction houses, yard sales, estate sales, flea markets is another good source. Friends, family, and neighbors that are moving. Look in your own home. Go room to room and clean it out and just ask yourself, do I need this? Chances are probably not. I mean, at our local auction house, and I keep going back here because I really, really love this business, and I hope he lets me do a live vlog from there because I think that y'all are really, really like that. Case in point, the reason why I speak so highly of auction houses. A few years ago, he had an auction, an estate auction, and there was a huge box, probably 4 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot, I guess. It was packed full of kitchen utensils. Myself, I've been doing yard sales for 20 years. And I knew if I put 50 cents each on them, I was going to make a killing. Well, I ended up paying $10 for the whole box, plus buyer fees, so which was about $13. So there's a flea market called the Hillsville, Virginia flea market. They have on Memorial Day and Labor Day weekends, and it usually goes on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But even the week before that, the people are having yard sales then. My husband and I had set up that year with a friend and her family. So I get to digging through the box in the bottom. I'm a bottom feeder when it comes to boxes. That's the first place I go to, is the very bottom of a box. There was 2 knives in the very bottom that still had the paper sheath on them. And something just told me to take them out and keep them. Well, I had several plastic bags of cookie tins. And those also sell really good. We had bought 7 trash bags. I think there was about 50 cookie tins. We sold them for $1 each. And we only paid like $5 for them. And I found that on the Facebook Marketplace. So that and a couple other things was the only things that we've ever bought off the Facebook Marketplace. Other than that, we don't fool with the Facebook stuff. So I hollered at my husband. I said, go get those 2 knives and put them under the seat in the truck. So he went and got them, put them under the seat. We got home that night. We were sunburned. We were tired. We were wore out. We still had 2 more days of this to go. And it was 90 and 100 degrees. So I looked them up on eBay that night. And I hope I'm pronouncing the name right, but they're whooshed off knives. So I had to research them on Google and eBay. I really wasn't finding that much out about them. But they had a special emblem on the end of them. So I listed them on eBay, and no more than I put them on eBay, I got a phone call I got a message 5 minutes later, and this guy was like, call me, please. So he kind of wrote out his phone number, and I called him. And he said, I will buy those off from you right now for $75 for buy it now, and I will pay for them right now and give you positive feedback. And I was like, okay. So we made about $100 off that box of kitchen utensils. and just that one day alone. So we so I changed it to a bite now, and the gentleman and I had a nice conversation, and he was telling me about all the knives that he collects and everything. And so after about 2 hours, he said, well, he said, I guess I'm going to let you go so I don't bore you anymore about my knives. And he ended up telling me that the 2 knives that I sold him were the first ones that the company had made, and they're rare to come across, and they sell for $150 each. And I was like, oops. So I sucked it up to experience. But on the other hand, lesson learned, we did make good money off of that one box alone. I mean, we turned that $13 box into probably about $250 by Sunday, which is the third and last day. Thank God that's a long day, because we have to get up at 4 in the morning and drive 45 minutes to unpack and have everything ready to go. So, oh, this is pretty neat here. This is one thing that I did find on as a Facebook auction page. I don't know if y'all can see that really good, but something just jumped out at me with this, and so I guess I'm going to put this on eBay under costume jewelry. We do have a Facebook page. My husband is managing it while I do the YouTube, the eBay, and a few other things, Craigslist and all that, because we do sell on Craigslist also. eBay, sellers, and discussion. I am so stupid. My mind is at a total blank right now. I can't even remember the name of my own Facebook. Hey, what's the name of our Facebook page? My husband's going to smack me. eBay selling resources and discussion. I'm just horrible.